Two old Cajuns nerding out.
What is up, y'all, and welcome back to Two Old Cajuns Nerd Out. My name is Bo, and this is my buddy.
Hey guys, this is John. Welcome. Today is going to be a very fun episode for us. We're going to be talking about something near and dear to our hearts and probably yours if you listen to this. Saturday morning cartoons.
Unless you were born after 2010.
Yes. But, yeah, today's topic is going to be full of good memories. We're going to be going full talking about Saturday morning cartoons and the shows. Saturday morning cartoons was a magical time for us, where several hours of channels would play cartoons for kid-focused commercials. This pretty much went from the 1960s to 2014, and usually it ran from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. What's your earlier memories of Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, dude, I remember waking up, fixing a bowl of cereal, or putting a Pop-Tart in a toaster, and just always setting my alarm because some areas it was 7 to 1, some areas it was 6 to 12.
Yeah, I think it was 6 to 12 for us.
And I would wake up at around 5:30. I'd set my alarm. For someone who did not want to wake up for school early, I would set my alarm to wake up early for Saturday morning cartoons. And strawberry Pop-Tart or some cereal like Honey Nut Cheerios or Kix.
Oh, me, it was the Ninja Turtle cereal or Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, see, I wasn't a big fan of Fruity Pebbles, but yeah. I'd do that and just start watching the Saturday morning cartoons or Saturday morning kid shows because it wasn't all cartoons.
True. Yeah, we list it as cartoons, but yeah, there are shows in there that were live action and stuff like that as well. But yeah, it's very fond memories of me. I can picture growing up at my parents' house, that big ass wooden TV that when it broke, we just put another TV on top of it.
As my grandparents had that too.
And just watching Saturday morning cartoons with my brother, sitting there for hours just watching it.
Oh,
so, yeah, we're gonna list 10 of that in no particular order. These are our favorites by any means. And yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So, do you want to start it off?
Yeah, I'll start off. I just like you said, no particular order, but I'll just go down my list. This one was the first one I listed because it's the first one that popped into my head. Kids my age, this was their first introduction. Some to Transformers, Beast Wars Transformers. And instead of the Autobots and Decepticons, you had their descendants, the Maximals and the Decepticons. I mean, not Decepticons, Predacons, sorry. And instead of cars and vehicles, they turned into animals. They went through a time warp and ended up on prehistoric Earth. And the energon was too much for their body, so they took the forms of animals. And if you watch the show, not like the movie Rise of the Beast, I hadn't fully watched that one yet. The Maximals and Predacons were actually smaller than the Autobots and Decepticons. So it wasn't like a giant gorilla running around. It was like a gorilla the size of a gorilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they would shrink?
No, they weren't the size.
Okay.
Of them. Yeah. I guess smaller was better back then. But yeah, that was my first one. The Beast Wars Transformers. The theme song was just great, and it was CGI. It wasn't like.
Yeah, I remember it was a time where they were doing a lot of CGI cartoons.
Yeah.
I think it was Computer Warriors was one of the ones I liked a lot. That was CGI. Reboot was another one. Wasn't it Reboot?
Yep, that's one of the ones I mentioned too.
Okay. So mine again, first one that came to mind thinking about Saturday morning cartoons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, of course, it's a great one.
Now the thing about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they had a channel called the WB or whatever, WGN. It was in Chicago. We had satellite. Excuse me. And me and my brother were watching it one Saturday morning, and the first Ninja Turtle cartoon came on. Now, at the time, a lot of the cartoons had been kind of my brother's cartoons that I started watching with him, like Inspector Gadget, Super Friends, stuff like that. But Ninja Turtles was the first cartoon that was for me, it was I was so into it. Everything about it was it was funny, it was quirky and a little different and stuff like that. Mutants and stuff like that. It was awesome. And originally they played a 5-part original, pretty much what people call season 1.
A big toy commercial.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, exactly, dude. But it was a 5-episode arc that kind of started with the origin of the turtles. It basically went all the way up to them fighting Giant Krang with the turtle blimp and stuff. But there was continuity in the cartoon at the first 5 episodes. It all flowed. It was one long movie, pretty much. And we were hooked, dude. Every Saturday we had to see what happened next. And then it stopped playing and didn't come back on until like season 2 when it went. It was a major thing. But yeah, I'll never forget those first 5 episodes. Like, so freaking awesome, and I wanted everything Ninja Turtles after that. And we went to Walmart maybe a week after that, and I got my first turtle, Donatello, and yeah, I was hooked, and I've been hooked ever since.
So one thing about it, what did you think about the Red Sky season?
It was all right. I was kind of getting out of it at the time, like out of the watching the cartoon at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike it.
I like that they went darker, like the movie. A little bit like the first movie, and how they the beginning of it. I hated that they changed the theme song so much.
Yes.
But the fact that they in the opening credits they started the theme song, they cut in pieces of the original movie.
I remember that. But yeah, the theme song was fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Like and I do like the other Turtle theme songs. I really do. But man, you can't beat the original.
Oh no.
Like when that van opens up on the roof and you see the turtles looking up and they launch, dude. And like April's looking in the rearview mirror and you can see the turtles going in the air. Chills.
Yeah, that's
Chills.
such great animation. Even though they cut corners on some of the other stuff.
Oh, sometimes the turtles are the wrong colors, wrong voices coming out of their mouths.
Right. Sometimes their beaks are different color.
Yeah, but that's a lot when you have like really fast animation.
Oh,
like
yeah.
really quick. Look at Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 2, or like no particular order, is remember being 7 years old, turning on Saturday morning cartoons, and then hit with the Alpha Rita has escaped. Call teenagers with attitude, and they didn't really have attitude, but yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, dude, that was such an eye-opening experience for me. With not only that, my first crush on Amy Jo Johnson.
Yeah.
that's when some boys became men. No, and but dude, and then everyone was like, "Oh, I'm the Red Ranger." No, I'm the Red Ranger. And then Tommy came and was like, "Screw that! You can be the Red Ranger. I'll be the Green Ranger." and I remember me and my cousins playing Power Rangers, and it was just awesome. We'd all pretend to know karate, even though we knew jack shit about it. My parents were too poor to put us in karate.
But everybody wanted it after that.
Oh yeah, everybody wanted. They wanted to learn that. They wanted to be Power Rangers and to drive Zords and you want to talk about Ninja Turtles being a giant cartoon commercial for toys. I mean, Power Rangers. Oh my God, that was the main thing for them to do, was to sell toys.
Oh yeah, I remember. Like I wasn't. See, for us, I don't think or any of the channels, we didn't watch Power Rangers in the morning. We'd watch it like in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And my younger brother was like really more big into it than I was. But I remember us going to the movies to watch the first movie, and it was all from watching the series and stuff like that. But yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, the first movie was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
It was not tied into the TV show like Power Rangers Turbo was, or Turbo the Power Rangers movie was, which was horrible.
Talk about bad CGI.
Yeah, but yeah, the CGI on it was horrible with the Megazord. But yeah, the movie's in its own continuity, and I mean I loved the movie because let's see, it came out in 96 and 95, and so I was 9, so I didn't know anything different. All I know was, hey, hell, Power Rangers on the big screen.
Oh yeah, like I said, and it's still going strong, man, which is great.
Oh yeah, 30 years. They taken a year off, and they're gonna reboot it since Hasbro bought it and stuff like that. So.
All right, my next one is a cartoon that I really liked, and like a lot of people haven't heard of, but the Pirates of Darkwater.
I remember you telling me about that.
Pirates of Darkwater was now this is a show, we're talking about continuity with the Turtles first 5 series. This whole show was like, if you missed an episode, you were like, oh shit, what's going on? But basically it takes place in like a different planet, and I think it's called Mer. But it's mostly an ocean planet, with islands scattered here and there. I think Wind Waker style. But this stuff called Darkwater, which is like this basically like slime kind of stuff, is basically corrupted, or Moana, think about that, is basically corrupting and taking over everything and stuff like that. Like killing everything. And there is 13 treasures of rule that if you find them all, you can basically stop the Dark Water. So this young prince named Rin, he goes out to find on an adventure, and he's joined by 3 other companions. Tula, who was like kind of like a girl pirate and stuff like that. She's I'm trying to remember magic. Well, she was an enomancer. It's kind of a magic. She can control like animals and nature and stuff like that. She was really cool, but she started off as like simply like a barmaid, and then you find out she has powers.
Oh, nice.
You had Ayaz, who was basically like the tough pirate. Like he was the muscle. He had like eye patch and a cool ponytail and stuff like that. He was really, really cool. Like he first started off as like kind of like immature, like greedy and stuff like that, and he became like more of a hero. Now they did have this like all these cartoons had like stupid sidekicks, not stupid, like annoying sidekicks, like that would just whine or just like be annoying. You had Snarf, you had Cringer, what's another one I was trying to think of real quick? Snarf, Cringer, blah blah. But this one had Niddler, and he was like a monkey bird. And he was so freaking annoying. Orko.
Oh yeah, Orko. That's what I was about to say.
But really cool. Like I said, like a lot of continuity in there. Like they were like once they got another treasure, like if they got it in the next episode, they was always building to a story. The bad guy, the evil pirates, he was named Bloth. He was this big, giant, formidable monster with this huge ship that dwarfed everything. But the thing was, it had 13 episodes for the first season. And then it had renewed for a second season, but it was only 8 episodes. So it does end, for the most part. But you can watch it pretty quick. But anyway, I liked it a lot. I used to love watching on Saturday mornings, and it was one of my favorites, go-tos.
All right, so my next one is it was one of my go-tos in Saturday morning cartoons, Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Love the intro.
Dude, that intro when that guitar just starts. Dude, amazing. And I mean, it was just about Peter Parker. You start off, you're already Spider-Man, and just going and fighting different villains and stuff like that. Now, did you know that the reason Electro showed up late, but a lot of who was another one? There was one other Sandman never showed up in the show. You know why?
What's that?
Because James Cameron was actually in talks to make a Spider-Man movie in the 90s. With Leonardo DiCaprio playing Peter Parker. That's who he wanted.
Wow.
And I forgot who he wanted to play Mary Jane. But it was going to be an R-rated Spider-Man. And Electro and Sandman were the bad guys. So they couldn't use them. And then after the movie fell through, they finally got to put Electro in it. And apparently, like, James Cameron was talking about it, like, R-rated. They were supposed to be, like, a sex scene up in the air on a web and stuff like that. it was weird, but like Spider-Man the Animated Series, that's when someone talks about a Spider-Man cartoon, like that's my go-to, because that thing was just amazing. The voice of acting, got Ed Asner as J. Jonah Jameson, and then was it Christopher Daniel Barnes or what? I think that's his name or something like that. He was Peter Parker, Spider-Man, and then that. Another crush, Black Cat, Felicia Harden.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
it was a great cartoon. I love the art on it and stuff like that. It was really cool. I was a big Spider-Man fan from comics and stuff like before that. So when that cartoon came out, it was really cool. And it was really cool to see a lot of these villains and stuff adapted into the cartoon, Venom and Carnage and stuff. Yeah, even the Spider Slayers and stuff like that, which was really cool at the time.
Dude, Venom was. I mean, dude, that's where you really learn that Hank Azaria really had a good range.
Yes. Yep, definitely a great cartoon. I remember watching that. Like I want to say it was Saturday morning too. I watched it as well.
Fox
Kids Club. All right, another one of my favorites and stuff from that time period was the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Oh
man, I love this cartoon. Like, I love the intro. It's like friends go to a theme park and they get on a Dungeons and Dragons roller coaster, and then they get sucked into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, and like it's all they all get like classes and stuff. Like you had Hank, who became the Ranger. Like the leader kind of the group, stuff that had a magical bow. You had Eric, the Cavalier. He was kind of like a spald, annoying kid, but he was more of the comic relief. And he had a magical shield, the Griffin shield, which was really cool. You had Diana, she was the acrobat. She had a magical quarterstaff and stuff like that. Presto, the magician, that was my favorite back in the day. He had a magical hat where he could pull stuff out and do different spells. Usually they fail. Then you had Sheila, the thief. Had a really cool cloak with a hood, which could turn invisible. I always wanted that. And you had little Bobby, the youngest kid. He was the barbarian. He was 8 years old, and he had like a like the barbarian outfit. It was always goofy looking, but he had this like magical like stick cudgel. I think it was a cudgel, yeah. And then you had Uni, talking about annoying sidekicks. Uni, the unicorn, which was voiced by Frank Welker.
He voiced all kind of animals.
Yeah. The Dungeon Master, which is like the little dwarf, little gnome guy that kind of like led him through their mentor and stuff like that. And he was basically like in every. If you ever played D&D, the Dungeon Master kind of like runs the game. So Vingar, which is voiced by Peter Cullen. He was really cool. He was really awesome looking design. And they recently re-released all these figures and stuff like that, like in a nice cool Hasbro did. And if you watch Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves movie, which I think is underrated and really good, in the part where they go in the maze, you can actually see the live action version of the cartoon cast.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you see them twice actually.
Oh, that's awesome, actually.
So yeah, I love Dungeons & Dragons. It got me into that whole fantasy world and stuff like that early on in the 80s as a young kid.
Nice. All right, so my next one is one I'm surprised you didn't mention earlier, The Real Ghostbusters.
Oh, the Real Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah.
Love the Real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the Ghostbusters where they had that weird dog and all kind, or
It was a
gorilla.
monkey.
Yeah, gorilla. That's
gorilla
what it
in
was.
that
Yeah.
weird car with the freaking
Yeah.
ghost face.
No, we're talking about the real Ghostbusters with Egon Spangler, Ray Stantz, and Peter Venkman, and Winston Zedmore, or Arsenio Hall.
Oh yeah, I forgot Arsenio Hall was that voice.
And Dave Coulier was the voice of Peter for a while.
Yep.
And but yeah, it's basically in a different continuity of the Ghostbuster universe. Slimer was basically like their good friend, their little mascot, and Egon had like a pompadour haircut.
He did. I also thought it was weird, and then like it would incorporate into all the figures.
Yeah, and in the movies, Ray was always the one like getting like in a trance and possessed, but in the cartoon it was always Egon.
Yep.
I remember that, and then it spun off and continued into the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Extreme Ghostbusters, but also like I think before Extreme Ghostbusters,
It became
was a
Slimer and the
Yes,
Ghostbusters.
yes.
That's kind of, they made it more kid friendly with that one.
Yeah,
less
Slimer.
scary. Yeah, it was weird, but Slimer I can see why, because Slimer was like the thing for the kids.
Yep.
And
Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, the Ecto Cooler. Oh my goodness, they brought that back for Afterlife. I wonder if they could bring it back again.
Mm.
But yeah, that was such a good cartoon.
It was a great cartoon. Had some really good, memorable episodes, especially the
Yeah.
one with the Boogeyman.
Oh yeah, dude, that Boogeyman one. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, great cartoon. And like the thing about that cartoon, it made a slam and banging toy line.
Oh yeah, that too. And they brought back a lot of them.
They did. I saw some recently. All right, Real Ghostbusters. Now I want to transition to a live action, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Ah.
Yeah, I loved watching Pee-wee's Playhouse. My mom hated Pee-wee.
I think every parent hated Pee-wee.
Yeah, but the thing about Pee-wee's Playhouse, I loved watching it. It was very entertaining and stuff like that. It was always quirky and weird and stuff like that. But it was also kind of sad to me because it was the last show that would play before like everything would end.
Right.
So like literally when Pee-wee would get on the scooter and fly away and stuff like that, I was like packing up my shit in the living room and stuff like that because cartoons were over.
I couldn't stay in here anymore.
Yeah.
Did you watch the one when he went to that movie theater? No. Oh wait. Oh no, wrong thing. No.
That was
Not that episode, right? No.
But yeah, love Pee-wee's Playhouse. Love Paul Rumens, rest in peace and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he was so great.
Oh yeah, he's a legend. But he got a lot of shit and stuff like that. Which now you do that, nobody would give fucking blink an eye.
No.
But anyway, they gave him so much shit, tried to ruin that dude's life.
But hey, he came back as Pee-wee before.
Hell yeah, and he did phenomenal, and he will be missed.
Oh yeah,
And,
he definitely will be
My
missed.
kids love Pee-wee's Playhouse. They love Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I need to introduce Link to that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go. I have one more. I think that's the one last live action, or the second live action I have, and it's the last one. Big Bad Beetleborgs. You ever heard of that one?
I've heard you mention it before.
So Big Bad Beetleborgs was another Saban thing. They bought another Japanese like Sentai show, and this time it was kids that were the heroes, not like teenagers. These were like 11 and 12-year-olds, close to being teenagers and stuff like that. And their favorite comic books is the Big Bad Beetleborgs. Well, they get tricked into going into a haunted mansion, and they awaken a I'm trying to think of what it would be It's not like kind of like a phantom, but his name is Flabber, and he looks like he's blue, like painted blue in his face. He's got a big ass chin like Jay Leno, but he's dressed like Liberace. So he's kind of weird. And he grants them a wish, and they wish to become the Beetleborgs. And when they become the Beetleborgs, because he brought them to life, the bad guys come to life too. And it went into a second season called Beetleborgs Metallics, where they got new suits, upgraded suits, and stuff like that. And the creator of the comic book in the show was called Art Fortune, and his, which made it funny because his brother, who was a comic book artist as well, his name was Les Fortunes. So it was quite weird. They had, instead of the morphers, they had Beetle Bonders, which was like their morpher. Very, very interesting premises. It only ran for 2 seasons because the Sentai that they used only did 2 seasons of the Beetle type costume, so they couldn't go anymore. I always wondered that until I was older and read up about it, because I mean, internet's a wonderful thing after once you get older, reading up about old stuff.
Right.
But they had it wasn't like the best like Go Power Rangers theme song, but they had a pretty good theme song. It's one of those ones that got you hooked to it. So it was a pretty good show.
I have like no recollection or memory of that. I know it. I can see the figures and stuff because then
Right. I had like 3 of them. Well, 4 of them I got from
toy room.
From the toy room. Yeah.
Yep. See, that's what I was remembering. And yeah, I definitely like the look of them and stuff like that. Really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember I don't know what channel I played on because
It was on Fox Kids.
Fox Kids. Me and my brother watched it. I didn't watch it. Yeah. All right. My next one is Captain N the Game Master.
Oh, and, I love that one.
Yeah, that was a straight Nintendo commercial all the way. But it was about a guy named Kevin Keane, and basically they had like a live action sequence where he was playing Nintendo and he gets sucked into the video game world. And he has like his zapper and his power pad and stuff like that. And he gets pulled in the world, and then he meets Princess Lana, who's not from any video games and stuff like that. But she's like kind of like the leader of the Resistance, and his dog Duke goes in there with him. And the first pretty much characters he meets is Simon Belmont, which is so annoying. And all the characters are pretty much annoying.
And most 80s cartoon characters.
Yeah, they're all like their voices will just grind. No, if you're like, I'm surprised my parents didn't make me turn it off. But Simon Belmont from Castlevania, yeah, Kid Icarus, he was all right. Mega Man, oh my God, his voice will make you turn.
His design was weird too.
Yeah, Game Boy was cool.
Yeah.
Voiced by Frank Welker.
Of course.
The villains, oh my God. Mother Brain, her voice, they made her ghetto. And yeah, it was she was really, really annoying. Yeah, King Hippo from Punch Out. And then the Eggplant Wizard, which I wasn't really familiar with because I hadn't played Kid Icarus. It was one of the games I had missed. Dr. Wily would show up. But it was always fun. Those were the main villains that you would kind of see. But every once in a while, you get other villains and other characters that would pop up. Like Donkey Kong popped up a few times. You know, like the Count from Castlevania. Alucard, Dragon Lord, which was really cool. I was in the Dragon Warrior. Ganon appeared a couple times with Link and Zelda. You even had Medusa from Kid Icarus. And that was pretty much really it. I want to say, oh yeah, one time they had freaking Bayou Billy on there. I'll never forget that because Bayou Billy was a game that was set in Louisiana. It was basically a poor man's Crocodile Dundee. Really, really hard game, side-scrolling, shooting, and driving. But yeah, when his character appeared in there, I thought it was pretty damn awesome.
I've never heard of this game.
Adventures of Bayou Billy?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh man, like it's basically like they kidnap your girlfriend and take her to New Orleans, and you start off in the swamp. They leave you for dead, and you start off in the swamp, and it's a Double Dragon side-scrolling fighting, and then it switches to Zapper light gun mode where you're first person shooting, and then it goes to like a Rad Racer behind the car driving levels, which are almost fucking impossible. That game is brutal, but man, and it also had a digitized, but it was like the Adventures of Bayou Billy. But
so they kidnap her and take her to New Orleans, which now if your woman is just cheating on you, you should go to New Orleans no matter what.
That's right, and you leave her, you don't care about her. But yeah, dude, it was straight up like I say, it was the Wish version of
Double Dragon.
Crocodile Dundee.
It was the Wish version of Crocodile Dundee and Double Dragon.
Yeah, but it was made by I think it was Konami made it, stuff like that. But It was damn hard, man. I would like to. I would love to see them remake that game.
All right.
But anyway, that was one of mine.
Okay. This next one's it was them trying to cash in on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle craze, and they even had Vin Diesel do a commercial for the toys. Street Sharks,
Oh my goodness.
dude, they were jawsome. That was their catch letters,
I
jawsome.
remember that.
And I mean, it was pretty cool because I like Ninja Turtles, so I like that one. I mean, there was four brothers that get turned into sharks, and one of them had a name called Slamu, and I can't remember all their names, but dude, it was weird. And they had the evil doctor, which is Doctor Piranha or whatever, and he would turn into fish. He had other types of animals, mutated animals as his henchmen, kind of like Bebop and Rocksteady, and they would roller skate. They were extreme sports people, so it wasn't just like skateboarding like the Ninja Turtles. No, they had like rollerblades and all kind of other stuff. It was a funny show. It was a weird premise, but it was such a great show, and how they showed the Ninja Turtles walking in the ooze and then growing up into like just like, okay, they're human sized now. They're teenagers, I guess.
Right.
The transformation of the Street Sharks, it was like kind of like, it wasn't as much body horror as Majora's Mask when he put on the transformation mask, but it looked painful in a cartoon.
Like Splinter in the Mutant Mayhem. where he's
Yeah,
just like-
yeah, like bones cracking and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it was quite weird, but it was such a good show. I don't remember how many seasons it ran for, but it was.
I remember watching it here and there. It was like a bunch of those Ninja Turtle knockoffs, like Biker Mice from Mars and
Oh
shit
god,
like that.
yeah, Biker Mice from More. I forgot about that one.
But I remember the toys for Street
SWAT
Sharks.
Cats.
Yeah, the Street Sharks toys were really cool. They had big old ass heads and shit.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah. All right. So my next one is Mask. And,
Mask.
like, I would try to like. I was obsessed with Mask. The toys were fucking amazing. Like Kenner made these amazing toys for it, and but like the cartoon, like
Kenner was so great.
yeah, like I would catch it on Saturdays. I would watch it every Saturday, but it would also play in the mornings. But it would play at like 6:30, and my bus came at like 6:40. So I would watch it, but like I had half my leg like out the front door, like kind of watching it, because I had to run all the way up my driveway. My driveway was pretty damn long. It was like a football field to get to the road to the bus. So I'd be like trying to watch as much as I possibly could before I saw the bus coming around the corner, and then I had to run my ass all the way up to the road to get there. But I would do it all the time just to try to watch Mask, because I always wanted to see. There was I think it was called Mirage, whatever. It was like the white Lamborghini, and like it was in like the second season, but like I was obsessed with that car for some reason. I always wanted to see it in the show, so I was always hoping that it would appear. But yeah, MASK is an acronym for Mobile Armored Strike Command. It's a special task force led by Matt Tracker, and basically they have a special mask that they put on that gives them powers, different abilities. Each one has a different ability, helmets or whatever, or mask. They're mask. And like they have vehicles that transform. So like he has a Camaro that turns into like some kind of like hybrid jet, a motorcycle that turns into a helicopter, 18-wheeler that turns into like a freaking battle base. It was really cool stuff with that. But the toys are transforming. It was fucking awesome. And then the bad guys was Venom, which is Vicious Evil Network of Mayhem. Yeah, they were really cool. Like that bad guy, I can't remember what his name was, but he had a helicopter that would turn into a jet. And like when I was looking it up, man, I always thought they had like maybe 30 episodes. They had 75 episodes of the show.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a lot for an old cartoon. But anyway, I love Mask. I love the theme song. I go back to every once in a while and just like kind of nerd out on the theme song for a little bit, but I miss it. That's one of mine.
All right. So another one of mine, actually, I just thought about that one, so I'm going to add that one in there. It was another live action one, and it was Saban, and they wanted to do their own thing, kind of like Power Rangers, but without having the Japanese footage. And they created a show called Mystic Knights of Tirnanog.
Heard of that. I know.
Yeah. And it was, I think it only had like 1 or 2 seasons. It was an interesting premise. It was set like in olden ages with and their armors were pretty cool. They got these sacred weapons, and they would like it was set in Celtic times, and they would transform, and their armor was actually pretty damn cool. Besides the princess's armor, her helmet, it just looked too big for her head. But the the other armor, and then they got like they basically started off with 4 of them, kind of like Power Rangers with the 5, and then they added a 5th one, like Power Rangers added a 6th one, but he started off evil at first. And his weapons were cool because they had like the double axe, and it was very, very interesting. Like one had power of earth, one had power of fire, air, water, and I think he had the power of like the forest or something like that. It was real weird. And if let's say if they would have had like better writing, it would have probably been a little bit better, or more money. Because Saban was a cheap ass. They made billions and billions of dollars
Recycling.
Recycling, and they refused to pay their actors. And when their actors decided, hey, we want to form a union so they can get paid, 3 of them left the show because they refused to work with the union and stuff like that. And like Saban was like, that's why I'm glad Hasbro picked it up, because Hasbro has been working a lot with more like unions and stuff, and actually want to pay their actors and stuff like that.
That's good. That's why. Yeah, that's exciting. I heard about the union thing before. Like I want to say one of the trivia things of that, but I didn't realize that's why some of them left.
Yeah, it was. They were all gonna walk out, and it was. It started with Austin St. John, Twee Trang, and Walter Emanuel Jones, the original Red, Yellow, and Black Ranger, and they were trying to get everybody around. And I'm not sure how the story goes, but someone said that it was Jason David Frank, JDF, decided not to do it, and he talked the other two, David Yost and Amy Jo Johnson, into not doing it either, and it kind of split them up and stuff like that. Like I don't know how. I mean, like I said, I just go by what I'm hearing on like rumors and stuff I heard on the internet, but it got to the point to where even up until his death, JDF, like before his death, him and Austin St. John did not get along, and they finally buried the hatchet and stuff like that, to where even Austin St. John was like, he has been there like Comic-Cons helping out with Jason David Frank's daughter and stuff like that and things like that. You'd see that, but it was, if they would have had like better writing, and the special effects were actually pretty good. I mean, it was the early 90s, I mean, well, mid 90s and stuff like that, but the special effects were still pretty good. But Mystic Knights of Tir-Na-Nog, they had like a Celtic theme song, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, moving along. My next one is we're going back to cartoons. A Pup Named Scooby-Doo came out in 1988. It had 3 seasons, and you would think, man, they got a ton of episodes. They only got 27 episodes between 3 seasons.
Yeah, like 9 each.
But it was a kind of a reboot of Scooby-Doo, where basically Scooby-Doo was a puppy, and it follows the younger versions of all the mystery gang as kids and stuff like that.
Is that the one where little Velma would just dance and just bob her head?
Pretty much. But like the only cast that came back from the original series was Casey Kasem and Don Messick that does Scooby. But it was really cool. Like I liked it a lot. It had a lot of running gags and stuff like that. Like they had one of the bad guys, one of the other kids was named Red Herring. And Fred would blame him for everything.
It's Red Herring.
Yeah. There was only one episode where it actually was.
That.
Yeah, it was only one red herring. And he always be like, "What a weenie!" Or "I didn't do it, Jones." And it had some pretty stuff like they introduced Shaggy's sister, Shuggy. And one of the crazy things is Velma had a butler, but his name was Jinkies.
So that's why she says Jinkies.
Yeah. But it was cool. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun. It had like cool musical numbers and stuff, and it was funny. I definitely enjoyed it. Probably a little bit more because my brother was into Scooby-Doo a little bit, because it was a little older cartoon, and this was like kind of a fresh, new, hip Scooby-Doo that I was all about. I was all about it. So I did love me some Pup Named Scooby-Doo.
See, I didn't watch it when it first came out. Like they had some other channels that would play it on, like Cartoon Network would play it and stuff like that. Like when it was weird, like because I thought it was like newer than 1988 or 89, like.
Oh yeah, it was 88.
But yeah, that's weird. I saw it like maybe late 90s, early 2000s was the first time I ever saw it. But I forgot that his sister's name was Shuggy.
Yeah, she only had like 2 or 3 episodes, so.
But it's weird. All right, so staying with cartoons, my next one is BTAS, Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah.
And I mean it's basically you get Danny Elfman's theme.
Yes.
As the intro, and it's so dark, like the Burton verse, Bat verse, and they actually like so dark, like the red sky and stuff like that. They did Red Sky first before Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were drawing everything on like black and red paper. It wasn't like just colored in stuff. They drew everything on like black and red paper.
I freaking love the art style of that show.
Oh yeah, and I loved it when it was after it became the new Batman Adventures, when Robin became Nightwing, but besides the mullet, but yeah, dude, with Nightwing on there, he was great, and they basically skipped Jason Todd and went straight to Tim Drake, and it just the way Kevin Conroy, I mean.
Yeah, that is the
amazing.
Batman voice and stuff like that for a lot of
everybody.
Yeah, and like sadly, like the Kill the Justice League just came out, and that's the last voice acting he did. And that game kind of sucks.
Yeah. Oh man.
But yeah, that is my Batman voice whenever I hear Batman in my head or I'm reading something in Batman.
It's just like Mark Hamill's the Joker whenever you hear about it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, dude, phenomenal. That show was also influential for introducing Harley Quinn.
Right,
So
Harley Quinn, and changing a lot of the stuff. Like, I mean, you ever notice how Penguin changed with Batman Returns?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing about that too is that actually rewrote or redid Mr. Freeze's origin.
Yeah, and dude, that's such a good origin.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was the only good part of Batman and Robin the movie, his origin. I mean, then you got all the ice puns, but yeah, but no, like Batman the animated series,
Very cool.
that's like Spider-Man the animated series. When someone talks about Spider-Man cartoon, it's Batman the animated series.
Yes, absolutely.
And I liked the Batman when that came out in the early 2000s.
I didn't watch it. I'm familiar with it, but I didn't watch it.
It was good, man. It's not
Is
like
that the crazy Joker with the spiky hair?
like kind of, and he kind of moves like a monkey.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay.
But it's still good.
So good.
Yeah.
All right. Batman animated series, love it. The next one, this one's one some people might not have heard of, and some people might have forgotten about. Dino Saucers. The show came out in 1987. It was done by Dick Entertainment, Lightyear Entertainment, and Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, wow.
Yeah. And it was basically dinosaurs come to our planet. They're aliens. They come to our planet and they meet their secret scouts, which are like the not the Power Rangers, like the Planeteers, and they give them rings. And the dinosaurs are humanoid. They got like suits on and stuff like that, like kind of armor and stuff like that. They're very intelligent. They speak, but they can activate like their chest and turn into like their full dinosaur form, and they kind of go feral, savage, and stuff like that. It only has one season, but that one season has 65 episodes, and I loved it, man. I used to love it when it come on Saturday mornings. Me and my brother, the song would just get you hyped, man. You would just start jumping up and down because it was going down. Some dinosaurs about to f some shit up. And I loved it. I remember looking for the toys everywhere because they had a commercial or I saw them somewhere. They never came out. After they canceled it after the first season. Only 65 episodes exist, and they just pulled the toy line. So the toy line, Galoob was making it. And
Galoob?
Galoob.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to make a lot of toys. But yeah, man. Galoob, man, the Game Genie, man. Come on, Galoob. But I don't know. It just really sucked because it was a different, very interesting cartoon for me. And they had Dino Riders, which is another cartoon series and stuff like that. Like dinosaurs were big in the 80s, 90s. You had the show dinosaurs and stuff like that. Dinosaurs were awesome. But
You got that Whoopi Goldberg movie, We're Back.
oh god. But yeah, I like dinosaurs. So definitely check out the intro if you haven't seen it and stuff like that. It's pretty catchy and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of those 80 cartoons are. But that's why I love me some dinosaurs.
All right. So this was a staple of Saturday morning cartoons, and I don't know if you ever watched it, but you probably did. Garfield and Friends.
I did watch Garfield and Friends.
And I love that. It had the Garfield chart, which was basically just different things with Garfield eating lasagna and beating the crap out of Odie, or what was the
Nermal?
Nermal, yeah, and just making John look like a
It's a crazy person.
yeah. And then you had the Barnyard Friends. I forgot what the characters' names were, but they had a pig, a couple of pigs, they had sheep, and
I do remember all that.
yeah, they had a little chicken, and also a chicken that was only his feet were out of the egg and stuff like that. It was weird, but I used to watch that all the time.
See, I watched a few episodes of that, but I was a Heathcliff man.
Oh yeah, Heathcliff.
And
Heathcliff. No.
and like I liked Heathcliff, but then I liked the alley cats, whatever it was,
Yeah,
alley
the alley
cats.
cats, yeah.
Because they had that sexy one cat with the
Should keep you away from furries. No.
All right. This one's no brainer. One of my favorite cartoons going Saturday mornings was G.I. Joe, baby. A real American hero. And man, this show, me and my brother was obsessed with G.I. Joes. We collected toys like it was going out of style. Man, we were crazy about it. And like every once in a while you could have like a 4 or 5 point episode. So you have to watch every Saturday morning to keep the story, like find out what happened in the story. But most of them were standalone. And it was a giant toy commercial. Like whenever a new season would come out, they would introduce new Joes, and of course that meant new toys.
All right.
And I love G.I. Joe so much. I collected it for years and years. I wound up selling like all my classic G.I. Joes a couple years ago when I needed money, and I regretted it. And then a couple years ago, Hasbro brought them back in the G.I. Joe Classified, and I've been collecting them ever since. Done a lot of reviews on my channel, but yeah, the original cartoon, so iconic, man. Really really cool characters: Snake Eyes, Duke, Storm Shadow, Cobra Commander, Destro. All these people were really fleshed. Zartan, were really kind of given life and stuff like that, and all from a comic and an old toy line.
Right.
And it did start playing in the afternoons where I got to watch it every day. But for me, it started on Saturday mornings, and yeah, man, it just made you want to shoot red and blue lasers at each other like all day. Like I always thought it was crazy because they'd be blowing up tanks and shooting each other, but like
No real bullets.
no, but like whenever it would get like, they would blow your tank up and then run and punch you in the face.
Yeah, that was standard in practice right there.
But yeah, I loved it. My brother loved it, and I still love it today. All right. So what you got?
All right, so this is the last one, I think, if I'm counting correctly, right?
I think maybe I have one or two.
All right, well, I didn't know which one to pick because I thought it was my last one, but I'm going to go with this one, Doug.
Oh, Doug. All right.
Yeah. So, and I'm talking about Nickelodeon's Doug. I'm not talking about Disney's Doug whenever they took over, because they even got rid of Billy West, the voice of Fry. And
I remember that.
Yeah. But Doug, man, I remember watching that on Saturday mornings, and it was just great because it made you feel like, man, they really understand what I'm going through, because he dealt with stuff like the kids, like dealing with his older sibling, dealing with
Patty Mayonnaise.
Patty, like having a crush and stuff like that, dealing with a bully, having his imagination run wild, and stuff like that. Like it made you feel like, oh man, someone's understanding. This dude knows what I'm going through. And it was a freaking cartoon, but it had such a interesting like theme song you can just listen to,
Yep.
and it finally clicked years later. Why was the hell was his friend named Skeeter?
See, like Doug was like a little bit past me. My brother watched it a lot, and I remember like sitting down and like kind of watching it with him and stuff like that. And it was definitely charming, and I did laugh at it and stuff like that. And I know it has a huge following, fan base and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember Doug. All right. Wrapping this up, I think I got my last one. Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Thundercats, great cartoon. Really awesome art and stuff on there. Great voice acting and stuff like that. But basically, these Thundercats leave their home planet that's dying and land on Earth, Middle Earth, or not Middle Earth. They land on
Close enough.
New Earth, Old Earth. Anyway, they land on Earth, and basically, they get attacked by an ancient evil Mumra. It's basically like a mummy who turns into like this big freaking buff super demigod, and it was just really cool. Like they kind of like built a base, like had some continuity in it, but like and of course had the annoying sidekick Snarf.
Yeah, Chitaro.
Chitaro, ooh, yeah. But it was really really cool, awesome. Like one of my favorite cartoon intros of all time. They've never done a live action movie for it. They need to.
They do. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But it's been rebooted before, like I think twice. Great toy line. The toys are huge and really really cool. Right up there with Marshall Bravestar. But yeah,
right.
I loved me some Thundercats. And man, they never had a Thundercats video game. I just thought about that. Anyway.
Yeah, they never did. All right. You got any honorable mentions before?
I do. You got some?
Yeah, I got one or a couple of them. Rocko's Modern Life.
Yep, another Nickelodeon one.
Right.
Thundar the Barbarian.
Muppet Babies.
Oh yeah. All right. Tailspin.
Oh God, Chippendale Rescue Rangers,
Animaniacs.
Rugrats,
Voltron.
Reboot,
The Littles.
Darkwing Duck,
Turbo Teen.
Inspector Gadget.
Teen Wolf.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's The Adventures of Super Mario Bros. 3. That's my last one.
Galaxy High. And then my last two are not, honorable mentions, are not cartoons. They're live action. Hey Vern, It's Ernest, which was great. I watched all that recently. And Say About a Bell.
Yeah.
Say About a Bell to me is more of an afternoon show because I watch it in afternoons, but I do remember Good Morning Miss Bliss playing on Saturday mornings and seeing those characters. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a great list and stuff like that. Not sure what we're going to be doing next. Open for suggestions, so leave it in the comments and stuff like that. But definitely excited to see what we got and what's coming up. So, where can they find you, sir?
All right, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for just search The Cajun Towboater. That is Cajun with a K. And where can they find you?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Cajun Toy Review. And you can message us either on one of those channels and stuff like that. You want to reach out, give us suggestions or feedback or anything like that. We greatly appreciate it and look forward to it.
All right.
So join us again next time. Thank you for listening.
Thank you all for listening. Y'all have a good night.
Take care.